Hello and welcome back to Rabbit Troop Sucks. Today we're going to be covering 1988's classic film Black Roses, which is surprise, which is going to be our theme of December. Surprise, which could, I guess, be anything.
Yeah.
Surprise, it could be anything. We're going to do a trauma film, which is, I would probably say, a rare thing that we would do on the show. There are definite trauma films that I absolutely love. There is a group that we will eventually get to that made a trauma film that I absolutely love, and I'm sure we'll do a bunch of their work later. And there's been other movies I've seen, but I don't know. What would be your distaste for a Lloyd Kaufman trauma film, Mike?
Are you looking for like a concept or a particular film?
No, more like a concept, like an over. Like why do we tend not to watch trauma films?
Honestly, I just think they kind of suck. Like the acting is atrocious. The plots are stupid.
For me, trauma films sometimes just get really, really gross. Like they're just like super gross scenes.
Well, so to quote you from earlier tonight, when I expressed my concern that this was a trauma film.
Don't bring me into this on the show.
You said, no, don't worry. This one is not penisy.
Yeah, that's what I read. I think somewhere that it was referencing that, which also makes a lot of appearances in trauma films in really weird, awkward, non-sexual, but then extra awkward ways.
I mean, this is going to sound weird. I don't mind if there's a penis.
You are free to sample this. That was Mike. Yeah. I'm Paul, and that was Mike.
This is Mike, and sometimes I don't mind a penis. No,
are you a hip hop group? Do you need sound bites? Yeah. You just let me know,
and I will
sign off on that.
As long as I get some money for this.
You won't.
No, I know. I never do. Can't print my own money. Yeah, I just don't think trauma films are very good. It seems really focused on like the gore aspect and just not anything else.
Personally, I don't mind the gore. There's just other things in trauma films that just get really super gross.
I don't mind gore in a movie. I feel like every trauma film I see it's an excuse to have gore, but with no content, and also surrounded by a dumb movie.
Also, again, though, I do find there are a handful of trauma films that I truly do like. And the one selling point I'll give you for any trauma film is it totally seems like everyone's having a great time.
Well, they fucking better be.
I mean, yes, the budget is low, and I don't mean that as a diss with anyone involved. It's a lot of people look like they're having fun with some crazy, zany script. Yeah, and Lloyd Kaufman, I've seen interviewed a bunch. He seems like a super cool dude. It seems like anything goes. From what I know, this is all Canadian based, and I don't know. If you don't know trauma films, Romeo and Juliet, I think is gonna be like the classic, and I do like that one overall, but that is not really representative of a lot of the other trauma films. Like a Toxic Avenger, I think is like super cool. Kabuki Man, was it PD or NYPD? Super cool. Another group we'll get to, as I said before. But again, those are like a handful of films out of like 100 plus.
Right.
Yeah. So the percentile is pretty low there. So if you find a good one, and I will tell you, I like this movie, Black Roses, 1988. We took a flyer on it, and we were kind of going between a couple movies, and I think one of the next movies is one we will do. It was just slightly longer, and this movie is under an hour and a half, just shy of an hour and a half.
That's my sweet spot. I like a good hour and 20-minute movie.
Yeah, so we're like, okay, maybe we should do this one. And I watched about 10 or 15 minutes of this just weeks ago. I just totally spaced it. And I remember pausing it and thinking, this is a good one to go back to. So I kind of threw it out there. And clearly Mike was apprehensive that it was a trauma film. How'd you like it overall?
I thought it was all right. I had a good time with it. I don't know that I'd rush to go back and rewatch it. But yeah, I mean, as one of the like 18,000 heavy metal demon movies from the 80s and 90s, this was one of the ones that I enjoyed more.
I don't think anyone played a record backwards, so
no,
that's kind of interesting.
That's true, yeah.
And I'm going to give you the synopsis, which is, I believe, one sentence on IMDb. Demons hypnotize the general public by posing as a rock and roll band. And that's all, that's all you got. And I think I read somewhere else, maybe it was the synopsis, we watched this on Peacock, was like, a teacher is hell-bent on stopping them, and that is sort of true. Yeah. I mean, a teacher does intervene. Teacher versus the devil, I like it. Mm-hmm. Classic. Yeah. Classic trope.
Tale as old as time.
Right. Well, this movie opens up in anywhere North America. You just see some kind of city, and, there's some kind of suburban population near that city, and Black Roses is coming on tour. Some mythical band that everyone's heard of and all the teens know about it, and it's the latest rage. And they're going to play, damn it, and they're going to play this small town in the middle of nowhere. And as the synopsis is there, is they're going to slowly hypnotize kids and turn them into demons.
Well, the first scene is a band of monsters playing a show.
Yeah, there's no pretense about it.
No.
Just some super glam rock band.
But they're monsters.
Yeah, and even in the icon that you saw when we loaded up Peacock, I think that might have been the selling point. I was like, Mike, I started watching
Yeah,
this film.
no,
and
that
it's,
was-
it's like a stage of monsters, like the animatronics went evil at Chuck E. Cheese.
Well, yeah, and in this first scene, I kind of thought they were going for like a Gwar thing.
Sure.
Where
They weren't.
no, they weren't. They were just actual monsters. They went in real heavy handed. Yeah, so it's a rock band of monsters, and all the kids are going wild. And like some dude in a suit rushes up to the door of this auditorium. And is like, "I got a court order to shut you down."
Yeah.
And then zombies eat him. And I thought this was one of those like,
No, it's like there's a guy. Okay, so there's a guy trying to spy on what's happening.
I mean, it doesn't matter because this scene it has no impact on the rest of the movie.
But the manager is like, arrest him, like he's trespassing. But then I think that guy opens the door and all of the crowd are demons.
Right.
So it's highlighting that this band is going town to town demonizing.
Yeah, what I thought we
different
were
way.
looking at was like we're seeing the end of the movie, and now it's like we're going to cut back to the beginning of the movie, But this scene never made an appearance. This was just apparently this band somewhere else doing something.
Yeah, I mean, like Mike's right. It's pretty disjointed. I mean, I just pieced it together now. Like when I watched it, I was like, I have no idea what's going
Yeah,
on. But
for
like,
sure.
now that I've seen it, it's very clear that this is one of the many small towns that this band is going to. They're accruing fame. If this is a video game, it's like your fame meter has reached 70%, and when it reaches
Right.
90, you will demonize the world, which does make an appearance at the end, where how far they've gotten.
Yeah, no, they're making moves. Also, I mean, thank God they were doing this before the internet, because apparently they're just wiping out entire towns and going on to do that again elsewhere, and no one seems to notice.
Yeah, it's really weird because the parents of the small town, let's just call it Footloose, USA, even though it's in Canada, they're really weird. There's like a big town meeting that comes up very quickly about, we'll get to that in a second, but like then the parents are very dismissive, and then the teens are just running wild. But then like people aren't like believing it. They're like, nah, they're not. They're just blowing off steam. Like the small town like should be against it, but the mayor is like, nah, kids be kids. Oh, it's The Simpsons. I'm gonna roll this as kids being. What is the judge always rules it like? Kids.
No, boys will be boys.
Boys will be boys. Yeah.
The clown is down.
Yeah. Your town's on fire. Everything's chaotic. Boys will be boys. Like, not being gender specific. Teens being those teens. There you go. There you go.
Yeah, so I mean the scene you're referencing is only the second scene in the movie, so I think we can skip to it.
We could do it.
Yeah, there's like some weird like Nancy Reagan lady who's like they're satanic and metal and they suck and they're gonna fuck our kids all up.
I mean, we did skip over the introduction of the teacher who was the
Right.
lead.
Well, I mean the scenes are interchangeable. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, we'll go in order.
But then
Or
you-
in order, some reverse order.
Yeah,
sorry.
but then like the mayor gets up. He's like, I mean, what? There's just music, like
Yeah, he's like, come on, like there was Elvis,
Come
Little
on.
Richard, Chuck Berry. Come on, we all remember the
Right,
Beatles.
like we all had our own
then,
rebellions.
And then he points someone out in town. He's like, hey, Joe Bob. He's like, your kid like grew his hair out like Ringo, and we almost ran him out of town. Remember that? Like that was a fun time. Like, whoa, shit, what?
Right,
What kind of town is this?
So the mayor's coming in with the reasoning.
Yeah,
He's like,
they-
this is don't
Yeah,
be stupid. It's,
weird.
just
like,
fucking music.
We used to run people out of town because of their Ringo haircuts, but like, hey, we've evolved, right?
Yeah,
Like,
this is a modern, kinder.
yeah, it's a weird mayor twist.
Yeah. And the townspeople seem to be okay with that. But,
The townspeople seem like they gathered for a bingo tournament,
Right.
and this was the trick. Like before you go into the second room,
Right.
You're gonna hear my
You
speech.
gotta vote on this shit
like,
first.
Do you like timeshare? Well, for the next 3 hours, you're gonna hear about it.
so the scene we skipped over was the introduction to the teacher. I don't Mark was his name? Or
Matthew.
Matthew, whatever. Oh my
Matthew.
God. Whatever.
But I personally reference him as Teach all throughout.
You know
like,
what?
Teach does this.
That
Teach
is
does
literally what I have written down
nice.
for every sentence.
Yeah, I mean, like, come on.
Hey, Teach.
Like, this is Stand and Deliver just with demons. Like, they wanted to in Stand and Deliver, it was the inner city youth overcoming math. And this is the just suburbanites fighting demons.
Right. It's basically the same story.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
everyone's got a switchblade.
We see him, and he's giving a hearty lecture on Walt Whitman and Walt Whitman's views on evil, which I don't remember or understand.
Yeah, it was like, he's like, what does it saying, like, this passage, does it propel evil? Does it come within? Are we taught this way? Like a psychological breakdown.
Yeah, and I don't know. I couldn't recite any Walt Whitman to you right now.
Sure, but
I don't know if that was one of his themes.
Mike's first observation is the student in the class 40? And Mike looked it up. I think the kid was
28.
Yeah, 28. And that's an 80. So this is 88. So, I mean, this person looks like...
He looks like shit, yeah.
Yeah, and I thought for a moment, because of this is like some like small college class. It is not.
No,
it is straight up high school.
But yeah, he's talking about Walt Whitman and evil, and one of the kids literally says, Walt Whitman is a cool guy, which is the only time that has ever been said by anyone.
That's everyone's doctoral thesis projects.
Yeah. Defend your thesis. Walt Whitman, cool guy.
I don't need to read beyond that, son. No. you've had, that was the test.
PhD approved. What? Okay, so we already talked about the town hall scene. Oh, now we have the young couple both of them wearing double denim, because apparently this is Canada, and they're arguing about something. It's Jimmy and Johnny. No, Jenny and.
It's Julie and
Julie
Johnny.
and Johnny.
Julie
Okay.
and Johnny.
Yeah,
the J&Js.
The J&Js.
It's like PB and J, just if you're drunk and it's not at all, and one girl's kind of nice overall, and the other guy's just a huge D bag.
Yeah, everyone in this movie is kind of a D bag. But he like maybe they're going steady. He's accusing her of like wanting to bang Teach.
I don't think Julie's terrible. I guess until Julie becomes demon. Like,
Well,
so spoiler alert.
I mean, no one's terrible until they become a demon.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, Johnny's already a demon internally.
Yeah.
He's fighting his own demons.
But yeah, they're having this weird talk, and like I don't really know what the point of this was, but it ends with him going, you know what? Like, I'm tired of this shit. I'm gonna paint the town red.
And paint the town red means witchcraft in a parking lot. So
paint the town red means he broke into a hardware store and literally stole a can of red paint.
Correct.
That he was going to use to paint the town red.
Because he wanted to break all metaphors. He wanted to be literal and metaphoric at the same time. Where it's, I'm going to do this I'm going to paint the town red with a red bucket. But I learned a spell, and I'm going to cast it in
was he doing a spell?
Yeah, he's talking.
I didn't pick up on that.
That's why he like opens it up, and he's like throwing things in, and she's like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, he's like, I learned it from the record or something. Like, I don't remember.
I must have been taking a note at that point.
Yeah, he does it. He does it like
that.
really quick. Like, and that's why.
Oh, is that why the paint can catches on fire?
Yes,
okay.
And then you see the So then the teacher. Teach.
Mm-hmm. He rolls up.
Well, he doesn't just roll up. He's taking a stroll through the small kind of townish area.
Yeah.
And I do like it. I'm like, what is he looking at? So he's looking at like all the items for sale. Imagine like you're looking, hey, going back to our first episode, Georgetown, you're looking at all the knickknacks in the windows. You're looking at things. He is looking at toy red model cars. And I just chuckled at that. Like, dude, like, what are you doing? It's like 9 p.m. Like, you're kind of a weirdo.
You know,
like,
it's the simple things.
Yeah, I guess. But he hears because Julie and Johnny were in front of the store blocks ago. So they're like, hey, we got to get out there. They're not even yelling. And he just looks like someone screaming. Like, that's how he looks at it. Like, from 3 blocks away. Like, you'd probably hear like, hey, what? And he rushes over and they rush out. And that's why that bucket of paint is on fire, because some kind of spell or incantation was done.
Okay. Well, because there's also like smoke from the alley. And then,
so it's all fog, but then you see Damian in the fog
you know
shadows.
What? We completely skipped over Damian's entrance. Like the first scene of the movie, right after the weird nondescript monster concert, we see him and his lackeys cruising into town in a fucking parade of Lamborghini Countaches.
And then putting up posters.
Right, and they get out of the car and they
Black
basically
Roses
just like
will be in town.
They just like do heavy metal symbols and vibe for like a couple minutes.
Yeah,
and then
I
hang
mean-
up posters.
I think what would be the best way of phrasing this? We just saw what the Matrix became. That was the first. That was the origin of the Matrix. 4 people come out dressed like He-Man villains with long coats and in Lamborghinis, 80s style, and you evolve society another 12 years, and that's where you get the Matrix.
Sure.
Boom.
Okay.
I solved film.
Perfect.
I saw-
Finally, you heard it here first. You heard it here first.
I
guys.
Sudoku filmed today. I Wordle filmed. Did I Wordle film?
You can do whatever you want.
I gotta go.
Okay. What the fuck does this say? Classroom confrontation?
Yeah, oh, I mean, I don't know. There's one scene where there's people are beating the hell out of each other, like in between. I was like, bullying fights, classroom fights, and that was just nondescript. Wait, so sorry, yeah, you lost me a little bit when you're like, oh, we skipped over it.
Oh yeah, sorry. We did skip over it. I felt like that warranted talking about. Oh, but okay, so we have the next day in the class after the painting the town red. And
Oh, yeah.
Johnny left his pocket knife that he used to open the paint can.
Johnny.
And Teach was like, "Hey, I found your fucking pocket knife, you piece of shit." Was it Johnny that got up and he's like, "My mother left my father because he wouldn't take a risk. I'm going to take risks."
I don't. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So there's a lot of things going on before we go to that part. But yes, the teacher is heavily alluding, like in some kind of life lesson based on, I can't remember the author at this point in time. It's I don't know. I might have written this down. It's not Walt Whitman again, but he's noting something and he's like, "What do you think, Johnny?" And then he like holds his pocket knife and it's like heavy-handed allusions of like, "I know what you were doing, but not really last night. You're a criminal. You're no good for business." And he's kind of also alluding to Julie, like, "You could do better."
Wink,
And
wink. It's me you could do better with.
yeah, maybe. And then, the bell rings and I note that he starts off, he's like, well, today we're going to discuss, this is, I think, the second of 3 times that I note class lasts for 5 minutes. That there's another time he's like, today we're going to look at this and your homework is this. Well, I guess I'll see you next week. I was like, what? And then this is the second time, like the bell rings and then, Johnny is like, my mom like never took a chance or whatever, like some weird out of the blue life speech. And I do feel even Teach is disarmed, like, whoa, what? He's like, no. But then there's this really weird cut scene. He's like, hey, Julie, I need to talk to you. And Julie's already gone. And then he just walks off camera. And then the next scene is like Julie with her friends at the lockers. Like,
Yeah, none of this.
and she later says like, he talked to me, but like, it's not filmed. We don't really know.
Right.
It's just kind of like, oh, should we have filmed that? And someone's like, I thought it was a stationary camera. I didn't move that at all. Like, someone will talk about it. Well, it'll be cool. It'll be cool.
Yeah, it was. I don't know. There was the first few scenes of this movie were kind of disjointed, to be honest. But now, is this where we get to the first of the heavy metal shows in the fucking
That'll help me
gym?
with my notes at least. But yes,
Okay.
we got. So Mike is alluding to there are going to be one of many. So it's like
Yeah, there's like a 5-night spread of shows,
Yeah.
like every day of the week.
Yeah, we didn't know this, but like your favorite band, whoever, is in town, and you're gonna see them Monday through Friday. That would be weird for me, and I would not probably
No.
want to do that. There's, I don't know, like 3 bands on Earth that I would probably consider in the history of time if that was something. I can't imagine 5 days. Like, what are you doing?
No, not ever.
Take a nap.
Not for anybody.
Yeah. I mean, all the shows, as Mike noted, as we're watching it, do look like they're filmed in a very small school auditorium. I said maybe like a hospital church.
Yeah, I mean, they clearly are taking place in the school's auditorium, and it's really weird because they're setting up for like this rock and roll show, and it's just a bunch of people sitting in chairs, which is not obviously normal. But the first night of the show, we all the students are there. It's well lit. It doesn't look super.
It's lit.
Super aggressive. Yeah, it's
Well lit.
It's lit, bro. But like Teach is there, the mayor's there, the weird Nancy Reagan lady from earlier is there.
Like all the PTAs, like, I'm gonna see what's
Right.
going on with this Black Roses.
Right.
But when they're at the PTA meeting, they were citing lyrics, and it was definitely like, and the woman was correct. I mean, it was all like abandon God and like overthrow like society. Like it was very direct in the lyrics. So they say it's going to be this like crazy metal rock band,
But
and
it's
there's
not.
this chaotic lyrics. But yeah, this guy comes out and he's just kind of like,
It's like a clean cut rock band, you know.
they're kind
like,
of arty.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
exactly.
he's wearing like a white coat and it's like a little like edgy, but he's got long hair and you're like, okay, like they're a bunch of artists doing 80s art things,
Right.
but they don't look offensive.
Yeah, I mean they all have like reasonable haircuts, and they're kind of they're dressed like Spandau Ballet.
And a lot of synth. There's a lot of synth going
yeah.
on. Like a lot of breathy synth, like ha ho ho.
Yeah, and it's just kind of like nice, even keeled music. And at that point, all the parents or the
One song, not even a full song. They're like, "Oh my god, I misjudged this." And the mayor's like,
Right.
"See, the Beatles." Like,
Yeah.
remember a PTA lady when the Lindy Hop was questionable? She's like, "Oh, don't embarrass me."
yeah, he's like, remember the Lindy Hop? Then he turns to the teacher and says, "I need a drink." And they're like, "Yeah, let's go to a bar because this fucking sucks." You know, as they're walking out, the teacher kind of has a second thought, and he looks back and he's like, "I don't know if I trust this."
Not even a second thought. Damn, dude stands in the doorway with
Yeah.
the door half open for about 45 seconds, beaming and daggers at the lead singer, who
Mm-hmm.
then turns at him and kind of gives him the, maybe we have to deal with this guy a little bit, because he's standing in the doorway of 100 people for 45 seconds.
Right.
It's awkward.
But he leaves, and as soon as the door closes, the lights go out, there's smoke and lightning, and then when it turns back on, the lead, Damian, has turned it. He's not wearing his nice guy
No.
outfit. He's wearing a fucking cod piece.
It's all like S&M outfits.
Right.
That's when I note, is this guy a He-Man villain?
He might be.
And I'm going to tell you directly, Mike, Black Roses grows on me. I would totally see this band live.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
This band is glam rock, fun to the extreme. Their hit song, like I Will Believe, or like You Will
Mm-hmm.
Believe, I Will Believe. Oh my God. And the guitars are going. It's amazing. This guy is just belting it out. Awesome. It's great. Every time I hear their songs, I'm like, I would totally be one of those teens. It's great.
Yeah, no, I would go to a Black Roses show for sure.
Yikes. Tell that to anyone else. You go to the Black Roses show. Get the hell out of here.
You just said you liked it.
No. That's what I'm saying. People would say to us.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
No, but they'd come around.
They would come around.
Yeah, and the kids are jamming because it's good. Everyone's really having a good time. Class the next morning is way off. Everyone's tired and cranky. The demonic possession is starting to take effect.
Yeah, so I note, class, some nonsense lecture begins. He's like,
all of his lectures
He's
are
like,
nonsense.
well, I read one passage once, and what do you think about it? And no shit, the bell rings. I noted 5 minutes of a course, and I wrote again. And then I wrote nice, exclamation point. That's what public school's for.
Yeah, well, every scene in the classroom, he has a different like American classical author written. It was like Thoreau this time, and I don't know. It's just all bullshit.
I think you could if you had to teach for 5 minutes a day, and you had some kind of like Far Side calendar or quote of the day, like, all right, I'm going to talk about this obscure passage. I'm going to bully Johnny for being a dick. And that's where we're at. So, all right, bell rings. You're out of here. Just read some more pages from my daily calendar.
No, he was teaching from like a American author of the day calendar, 100%. Yeah. So at the end of class, what's the girl? Julie.
Yeah.
He's talking to Julie, and she's like, "Yeah, I mean, I'm going to go back tonight." He's like, "What? You got to get some sleep, lady." She's like, "No, like they gave free tickets for the rest of the shows to all their real fans." He's like, "Oh,
It's like a Fish concert.
yeah." Only it doesn't suck.
Yeah, Fish. You're no Black Roses.
You heard it here first, everybody. Your ice cream flavor is pretty good. The music, not for me. Then we see, further enhancing the idea that these kids are kind of getting hypnotized. Outside, I believe it was members of Black Roses in what looked like the Back to the Future pickup truck giving out record albums. And then there was a little tussle over one of them. And someone gets like suplexed for some reason.
Yeah, it's like a random outside fight. Like this kid just gets straight up picked up horizontally and then tossed, and I have no idea why any of this is happening.
No one
it's like
knows.
some non sequitur of like if this was I don't know, like the Seinfeld like bass line doo doo boom boom, like there'd be kids fighting in the back, and then it'd be like back to like the teacher or the band. Like it's super weird.
Oh, so you mentioned Seinfeld music. So the music in this movie, the score, the soundtrack, not like the Black
epic.
Roses.
It's pretty epic.
It's fucking everywhere. It's like, you know, those anthology movies where every scene is directed by a different director. It felt like every piece of incidental music in this movie was made by a different person with a different set of information. Because like it was all over the place. Some of it was okay. Some of it was fucking bonkers. I don't remember what was happening here music wise, but it doesn't matter.
Well, the transition from the fight is all of a sudden the teach is going to investigate. You know, I'm going to go check out this venue. Like, what's going on with these kids?
Oh, yeah.
So he meets with the manager of Black Roses.
No, that was Damien.
That was oh
Yeah.
wait, yes.
He just didn't have his stupid hair,
Yes.
his wig on.
Yeah, Damian didn't have a wig. That's right. Yes.
And
Damian,
they're drinking fucking a glass of milk with each other.
they're each, drinking oddly shaped glasses. It's the kind of water glass that you'd be served at a bar in a hotel. That it's
Correct. Like it has a little paper cup on top of it.
5 inches in height.
Yeah.
It's like it's a thin glass, but they're each having one.
Yeah.
Clearly filled with milk.
Yeah, that's just to enhance how wholesome Damien is. He's like,
Vitamin D, bro.
I'm hanging out, I'm drinking milk. It does a body good. I want my bones to be strong.
Demons drink milk too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Blood milk.
It's blood gross.
It's my hit EP coming out.
Blood milk.
Yeah, also note, going back a little bit, a couple of things. When they're hanging up the posters, it's all like, see blood roses, but it's all a picture of Damien, and he kind of looks like weirdly like Jesus-y, like long hair, and it's like, with Damien. Like, it's very clear, like, Damien is the forefront. I also, going back to one of our previous movies, I said, we should have a battle of the bands, Black Roses versus Houdini. You know, Houdini?
Houdini would win.
I mean, I would pay a lot of money to just be there.
I want to see like a Black Roses Houdini mashup.
How about they both play a couple songs?
Yeah.
Some votes are tallied. Before we get the winning vote in, they do a mashup together live. Best concert I've seen in my life.
It's
Ogden Theater.
It would be kind of like the soundtrack to a movie that we've talked about doing.
Ogden Theater. Let's make it happen.
Perfect. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, they're drinking their weird milk. A side note: the amount of mullets in this movie are out of control.
There's not enough.
You say that. I mean, Damian usually has a mullet. He doesn't when he's talking to Teach right now, drinking his milk. But yeah,
I bet he smells like pencil shavings.
Okay.
That's what I imagine, like grade school. You smell like new textbooks and pencil shavings and Crayola crayons. You smell like milk in your
Chalk
mouth.
dust. Okay.
It's all there somewhere.
That sounds gross to me. Like, I don't want to smell that. But, you know, Teach is like, okay, this guy might be on the level, but maybe he's not. We don't know. We don't know what's on his mind. But he leaves anyway.
As he's leaving, he runs into one of his students. Isn't it Julie who's like, hey.
Oh, bro, Julie's on this guy's jock the whole fucking movie.
Like, hey, aren't you supposed to be in school? And he's like, I could say the same thing about you.
Yeah, that was the weirdest. Yeah, Julie. That's right. Julie runs in, and he's like, "Hey, shouldn't you be in class?" And she says, "Like, I could ask you the same question." And no, you can't. You're a fucking student. Like, you should definitely be in class.
She was there for the milk.
Unless she was supposed to be in his class, which he wasn't in because he was drinking milk with Damian.
Now, before we go too far in all of this, I have to. Oh no, I had it with IMDb. I'm going back.
Oh no.
So there, in one of the band members in Black Roses, I hope to God reaches out to us.
Are you talking about Joey Comanche or whatever the
So
fuck his name
it's
is?
in real life, I think it's like Carmine Apache. I think it's Carmine Apache. Mike and I, both Italian. Sorry if we're butchering your name. And he plays the drummer Vinny Apache. Fantastic. One of my favorite side
Absolutely,
characters in
he's
this. Carmine, please reach out to us. be the trifecta of the Italian Boy movie overview.
He's
Be our
got he's
guest.
got a phenomenal mustache. His mullet is the best one.
Yes.
Yeah,
Mike and I play music. You could play some drums. Come on over.
Yeah, I could go for a new drummer.
Rabbit Troop Sucks song. Carmine.
Yeah,
Done.
I'm ready for that. But speaking of Italian people, in the next scene we have
Columbus. Go on.
not Christopher Columbus.
The director.
Yeah, I don't think he's Italian.
Home Alone. Welcome to December, everybody.
Yeah, we're here. We're here now. No, it's not December yet. You don't know.
Look what you did, you little jerk.
You little jerk. No, we have. I wrote his name down as Sal, which I think might be his
Vinny Pastore
Vinny Pastore. Yeah,
from Sopranos.
from The Sopranos and any other movie that
yeah,
involves.
he plays Tony. No, yeah, is Tony? Yeah, there's a.
Are you looking for his name in this movie?
No. So like one of there's another teen in school, and he's more of like the bad boy. It's not Johnny.
It's not Johnny. Yeah, it's
Tony.
the other bad.
It's Tony.
Oh, Tony's the kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is Salvatore. What's his name?
Salvatore.
No, the
Tony.
his father.
Vinny Pastore.
Vinny Pastore is the dad, and he makes an off-color remark about his son's earring.
Oh yeah.
And his son is listening to he's listening to what I'm guessing is a Black Roses record. He's like, turn this shit off, you dum-dum.
He's like, whatever, Dad.
Whatever, dad, I don't care.
I'm Tony. So
Hey.
I was working out one arm while listening to this, but I don't care.
He was doing bicep curls while sitting on like my grandmother's couch.
And he had a sweet record set up, but I couldn't find where the second speaker was.
No, he just had one Serwin Vega speaker like nailed to the wall.
Yeah, that was a weird move.
It was, and he was listening.
That was a flex.
He was listening to the record.
I don't need two speakers if I nail it to the wall.
You don't even need that shit. Yeah, you get it up high enough, and it's fine. You just get the one. So he kind of storms off, and his dad turns the record off. But then the record starts again. It's like, yay.
And then it turns to goo.
And then the record turns to like weird demon goo.
And then he touches it. Damn it.
Yeah.
I've said this before in other movies. Like, if something
Stop
is
touching the goo.
why would you touch this with your hand?
No.
Put it all over your face. I don't know. Screw this dude. He said that off-color remark that he said.
Yeah, no, he had he gets what's coming.
Demon eats him.
Yeah, a demon, like a weird demon spider, comes out of this one speaker and pulls him into it. And that's the end of this guy, probably.
But, that was like a weird demon too, like a weird kind of like spider gremlin.
Yeah, it was like somewhere between like a scorpion and something else. I don't fucking know. But yeah, he's gone, and this is now, I believe, the first fatality we see. Because foreshadowing, most of these kids' parents are going to get fucked up.
Yeah. And then it goes right back to the teacher. He's at home, cracks open a beer, cracking open this case. Crack, crack. 2 cracks. That's
Yeah.
what he's known for.
Yeah.
Teach Matthew 2 cracks.
2 cracks.
Solving cases,
Sounds like a weird
opening beer
sex
cases.
thing.
Yikes.
But is this where someone busts out the window in his car?
Yeah.
Oh no, because parallel
Or
to
at
this,
one
we
point.
had the second night of the concert is happening.
Oh, that is correct.
None of the adults came this time because they're satisfied that nothing is amiss. But
Also, my parents would totally not be cool with, why are you going to a concert every night? Like, you don't understand. It's Black Roses. Like, oh,
no,
okay.
okay, we don't give a shit.
Like, what, how's your, are you studying? Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Show me what you're doing in school. Like, shh.
But
book report on Black
Roses is playing, and they start off all demonic, and there's like flashes of light, and as those flashes of light happen, the children are being turned into weird zombies.
That's correct.
But
It's like Daniel's turn being shocked as a skeleton.
it does look like Home Alone 2, Daniel's turn. Yeah, you might see one of those online. It does look like that. But yeah, so Teach is drinking his beer. He's double cracking, and
Crack.
now the kids are kind of starting to run amok. That demon mentality is getting sunk in there, and someone busts out the window in his sweet Supra, and he's fucking pissed.
I would be.
So
He's just drinking a beer.
yeah, he's just drinking his beer. So you know,
Now he's about to get a third crack.
yeah.
Crack, crack.
So he gets into his car and he goes on patrol. And he's driving through town and everyone's just kind of going buck wild. There's like kids are making out. Like it's not the scene that you're used to.
I actually feel this is a huge missed opportunity. Like all seriousness in this movie, that he is noticing that kind of kids are going wild, and they really could have amped this up. You could have gotten local extras to bit in this movie, just like do weird stuff. So, because I kind of like it, it's like this weird Children of the Corn vibe. Like, whoa, like this isn't just my class. Like,
No,
kids
now
going crazy.
everyone's going wild.
Yeah. And so he wants to go to the mayor's house, and he goes there, but there's something kind of alluded, like in an off sentence once.
Yeah, it was said briefly that he maybe used to date the mayor's daughter.
Who is Priscilla,
Yeah.
who answers the door, who's kind of a lunatic.
Oh, she's a bitch. Yeah, she comes in all hot. She's being very condescending about its profession. She's like, oh, like your little teaching job where you teach these little stupid kids your little books.
She doesn't say that. She goes,
just teaching inbred morons the alphabet.
that is exactly the quote that I wrote down. I was like, damn.
Yeah.
Because he's like, well, you know, my profession's a lot. And she's like, well, you know, you spend a lot of time with these people. And she does call it out, which that's awkward. She's like, and your teacher's pet. He's like, leave Julie out of this. She's like,
Yeah, there's a lot of weird innuendos that like he's maybe banging Julie.
yeah. And he's like, yeah, leave Julie out of this. And she goes, it's funny how you knew exactly who I was talking about. I was like, yeah, like everyone knows. This is super weird. But like, all things aside, I need to talk to your dad. And, you know, this is with my profession. You didn't like it. And she's like, I love your profession. He's like, you never cared. He's like, and then she just like immediately turns like, you teach inbred morons the alphabet. I was like, damn, damn, Priscilla.
And then he counters this with, I'm going home or maybe to a bar.
Yeah, I was like a weird threat.
Which, yeah, I was like, I say this to myself every day of my life leaving work.
Maybe this is where he met her. Like, I met you at a bar. I'll meet someone else at a bar.
Yeah, I mean, who knows where his head was at with that. Maybe he just really wanted a beer because he didn't get to finish the one that he cracked earlier because someone busted out his window.
Mike and I have seen many heartbreaks at many bars in the Denver metro area. So over the years,
caused, been party to.
I've seen things that have gone wrong for Mike at bars that have started at bars that led to Mike's physical, mental well-being being compromised.
No, it's fine. Sometimes you run into the children of the mango out at the bar. It's fun to meet new people.
Yeah, so Mike would deal with that where people just like to talk to me at bars. So Rapid Troop Suck is not brought to you by bars where I will not appear. Thank you.
I'll be there still.
You can meet Mike at the bars.
Yeah. So he leaves. We don't know if he goes home or to a bar because it's not shown.
Yeah, that's also a missed opportunity. You could have had side quest after side quest right there.
But then the next scene we see Johnny going home from this concert, and he's a little evil. He goes into his bedroom. He starts smoking a cigarette in bed.
Yeah, no. He just doesn't do this. So, sorry, let me clear my throat. Let me paint a picture. He gets home and he's really disgruntled, like, and marches into his room, and his dad's, who's very dismissive and not there, like really caring father, like, is that you, Johnny?
Yeah,
like, whatever, reading a newspaper and the TV's on, whatever.
And he doesn't care.
So Johnny goes to his room, takes off his shirt, maybe his shoes. I don't see that, but I'm assuming he's not about to get into his bed with his shoes because he took off his shirt. But takes off his shirt, turns on a record, and just lays in bed and then lights up a cigarette. And then a naked demon woman appears, and I'm assuming they have sex.
They do. Yes, they do.
Well, now he's fully consumed with demon spirit.
Yeah. That sealed the deal. He's like, I get to have cigarettes in bed and demon sex. I'm on board for this.
Now, and I could have missed this with notes, the next transition is to Mr. Miller's house.
Yes.
Where I don't know who this guy is, and there are two young women there, or girls there. I don't know how old they're supposed to be.
They're all supposed to be in high school,
but they're all like 28 plus.
Right. Yeah, so like there's like this young kid like throwing action figures into the fireplace.
I'm gonna nerd out in here in a second. Yeah,
Okay.
So the little boy is playing with Aquaman, and he is playing with Batman, like the DC figures, and his glow skull He-Man who is a villain, throws them in a fireplace, and then the Batman and Aquaman burn, and the dad's like, oh my god, what the hell are you doing? He's like, they were the villains. And he's like, oh, weird. But
Yeah,
then
we never see that kid again.
yeah, and then two young women come down.
Right. Like one's
or
his
girls.
daughter and one's the friend.
Yes. Yes.
And they're like, hey, my friend needs to spend the night here because like her parents are still out or whatever. And the dad's like, okay. And they play cards or something for a little bit.
Oh, they play gin.
They play gin, yeah.
They're like, ha, daddy. They're like, well, it's better this way because we get to play with daddy. And I'm like,
oh yeah,
gross.
they say daddy a lot.
Yeah, and one is saying it to her daddy, so I'm like, that's weird. Stop saying it. But it's 88. Like, I'm taking it into 2000, plus context. So I'm like, all right,
Yeah.
stop saying it. But then she leaves. She's like, I'm gonna go hang out.
Well,
And
no, the daughter's like, I'm gonna go to bed, and the friend's like, I'm just gonna hang out here.
yeah, and she's like, I'm cool, daddy. I'm like,
Yeah.
no.
And daddy's like, okay, he's like, my wife's out at the bridge club, so she won't be home until 3 a.m.
Yeah, Mike knows this. He's like, my wife plays bridge every Thursday night
Mm-hmm.
and won't be home until 1 or 2 in the morning on a Thursday.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus,
These bitches love bridge.
they're building a bridge.
Yes, and this friend's like, I'll stay up with you. Like, you want to play gin? Do you want to play strip gin?
Hashtag strip gin. I'm right at the end.
Yeah, hashtag strip gin. And then she looks at at daddy and she's like, do you know the rules? And he's like, funny enough, I do.
Yeah, he's like, I certainly do.
I certainly do know the rules.
Also, going back, have you seen the Malcolm in the Middle episode where the mom joined the book club?
I don't know.
Oh, it's because this is not what I'm assuming is a book club. She joins a book club. She reads the book. She's super excited. It's like the one thing, if anyone's ever watched Malcolm in the Middle, it's crazy boys. It takes up all her time. She works full time. It's the one day a week or the one night a week. She's now like, I joined a book club. And then she gets there and for like, read the book. I read the back jacket and they're just like cracking open bottle after bottle of wine. They're like, this is literally the only reason we're getting together. The episode ends up with like police chases and Lois being arrested via police helicopter.
Okay.
Like, it was good.
All right.
But that's what Ms. Miller is doing.
Yeah, she's. It's about Angela and the ashes. Yeah, so they're playing strip gin, and the girlfriend is losing, and then
Everyone's losing.
Everyone's
in this
losing.
game of strip gin.
Yeah. Daddy is about to show her the dad D. So she loses the final piece and says, well, now it's time to claim your prize. And daddy has a heart attack and dies.
Maybe.
Well, no, he does, because we find out later because someone says it.
Well, I mean, yeah, like maybe that's how he dies, sort of. I don't really know what happens because she takes off her top and gets into his
you
lap.
can hear like the
Oh, I didn't hear
yeah,
that.
yeah, you can hear like the heart. And then,
I didn't hear that.
And then
he just like sticks out his tongue and looks goofy and like goes sideways.
and they say the next day that he had a heart attack.
The hell of a way to go out.
It is, but this is kind of like the first of the montage of this night, people getting killed. So another dude that goes home from a concert runs over his mom with his Camaro.
I think that's Tony.
That's Tony, okay. And then Johnny, after he has sex with the demon, he kills his dad with a pistol.
Yeah, I know that got super dark.
It was weird, yeah. He walks out of his bedroom, he's like, I love you, Dad, and he just shoots him in the fucking face.
Yeah, that's bananas. So again, this very dismissive, like detached parent was reading the newspaper, and it's like the first half of Stephen King's It, where the bully like just switchblades his dad.
Yeah.
It's like super dark. I'm not saying like people don't deserve like something like to happen or whatever, especially if there's abuse, but like this is super dark. When Tony drives over or backs over his mom, it's kind of comical. Like, yes, I say that
Yeah,
like
no,
it's dark, but like she goes like awkwardly flying like 30 feet into a
Yeah.
lawn, and then she's like clearly like dead. Like she's one step away from having X's drawn over her eyes.
That's correct,
This is
yeah.
straight up like teen youth is now like one with the demon, and it's like, I love you, daddy. Bam, blood splatter. I was like, shit, like, okay. Like, trauma gets you that way.
They will get you. So now again, we're back in class the next morning with Teach.
That's the sequel to this movie, Back in Class.
And all the kids are like, we don't want to hear about your fucking Thoreau or Walt Whitman. We want to talk about the poetry of Damian.
Yeah, and then it's like, Damian.
Yeah, they're chanting.
Damian.
The teacher's losing control here. So he
Leaves.
He leaves
And class is canceled.
class is canceled. He goes to call the mayor. He's like, hey, mayor, you got to help me. It's mind control. I can feel it. And the mayor is just oddly focusing on getting this guy to bang his daughter.
Yeah, he's like, come on, I'll talk to Pris.
Yeah,
like Priscilla. He keeps doing Pris.
We'll get you guys back together. She
I
wants
thought he
to
said
see you.
Chris like the first two times. I'm like, who the hell is Chris? But it was Pris.
Yeah.
He's like, Pris is just, a little miffed about things. We'll get Pris back. And he's like, damn it. Like, we've got to investigate this. And yeah, I have nothing to say.
No, it doesn't fucking matter.
Damian.
And then we see the daughter of the heart attack guy is she's talking to like, I don't know who this guy was. Like, is he a grief counselor? Is he the school psychiatrist?
I thought that's who the Teach talked to early on. Like, something's weird.
Yeah, this was the second time we saw him, but like at no point do we know what his job is.
The first time I wrote, is this the principal? But then I now think it's like the school psychiatrist, psychologist,
whatever,
advisor, like someone in that kind of facility or function of that school.
So he's talking to this girl like, hey, your father died. Because half the kids in this town's parents were killed last night. Everything's kind of going along as usual, other than the fact that Damian. Other than the fact that this one girl has to talk to a grief counselor. And he's like, so you just have to like, get in touch with your emotions. You don't want to bottle it up. She's like, well, what if I just opened up the window and screamed? He's like, that's a good idea. I'll open the window for you now, so you can scream out of it. And she's like, yeah, no, let's do that. And then she turns into a monster and pushes him out the window.
Mister. It turns into Happy Gilmore.
It does a little bit. Yeah. Jesus Christ.
You didn't see it coming.
No, I didn't.
Get this thing off of me.
So, now we cut to Teach is in the library, like with every book about magic and demons.
Yeah, I can't remember if I've noted this before. I love time travel movies. I will watch pretty much any of them. I don't care if they're kid oriented. I don't care if they're adult oriented. There's a couple of movies that I would like to rewatch because they're so heavy handed in the science. But every time I think, woof, I would love to go back in time. Not if I didn't have the internet, because this guy is using a library table. It is infinitely long, and Mike noted it is every book. It is just every book. It's every book. And Julie comes over like, hey, what are you doing? He's like, I'm just doing some research.
I'm writing an article. Fuck you. You don't know.
Yeah. So many research.
Yeah, and she's talking to him, but Johnny is like down the hall looking like a tough.
And he even says, like, are you with him? She's like, oh, no.
No.
Yeah, he's all creeping up right there.
Yeah.
Like in a shadowy background. Get out of here, Johnny.
Yeah. But so she kind of comes on to Teach a little bit, but then she leaves with Johnny because he rebuffs her. And now we're cutting to, again, it's the third night of this goddamn concert series.
Yes.
And Damian is talking about making Blood City.
You are the black roses, the flowers of evil. You have been chosen. That he says it like that. And then I just wrote, oh no, Damian. Oh no. Yeah, that was my reply to that. Oh no. I just got here. I missed night 1 and 2. What did I miss?
Yeah, so Blood City is what now? We're doing who?
I was out of town.
But now this is a bit disjointed because now we're treated to what I want to say was a minute and a half of someone rubbing their tits in a mirror.
Okay. That is just accurate. So we see a woman neck down in a corset in front of a mirror.
Yes.
And she pulls the corset down.
She does.
And rubs her breast for
a long time.
At least a minute.
Yeah.
And then comically shimmies back up, like shimmy, shimmy. And then walks out of the room.
Right. Maybe she was looking for lumps, as they tell you.
At this point, we don't know who this is.
It's Julie, though. We
do find out it is Julie, but for a handful of minutes, we don't know who it is, and we don't know why it happened. I still don't know why. No
one knows why it happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or hashtags. Crack, crack. Oh, strip gin.
Strip gin. Okay.
It's all the after effects of the strip gin.
So we find out that it's Julie, and her stepdad is home, and we met her stepdad earlier.
Yeah, he
and
said something like really creepy,
yeah, he's
gross,
he's kind
like,
of he's kind of
you're
pervy.
pretty or something, like very, very.
Yeah, no one
gross.
likes this guy,
It's
but
gross.
so she just beats the shit out of him with an ashtray.
Well, she seduces him a bit.
Well, I mean, briefly.
Yeah, it's gross.
Yeah.
And then just beats the shit out of him with a stone ashtray, so, as one does.
Yeah,
The Julie effect.
yeah, and then now, oh my God. Teaches in the library and he wakes up and he goes, oh my God, it's 10 o'clock. I missed the concert. And it's 10 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, he wakes up and goes, it's 10 o'clock. And yes, Mike and I watched this in the same room. And Mike goes, 10 in the morning? I was also writing that. And then I wrote Mike notes 10 in the morning. And loudly you hear birds chirping. Like,
Right.
Jeep, 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 jeep,
But there's
jeep.
like, he's in the library. There's no one there. Like, should he be teaching a class at this point?
Who cares? There are
No,
3 minutes.
He's not a very good teacher.
No. He could write a note. The bell's going to ring in 3 minutes anyhow.
Yeah, exactly. But again, like things are still kind of carrying on as normal. There have been, again, half of the parents in this town have been killed. No one seems to give a shit about that.
They don't.
No.
That doesn't matter.
We see the bitch Priscilla playing tennis and then gets into her car to go home. And after doing her hair for like 30 seconds, Julie pops up in the back seat. And so Priscilla is not alarmed by this. She's like, "Oh, you're that Julie chick."
I also note that I wrote, yeah, she's like, "Oh, like, aren't you like my good friend's student?" She says something like,
Like this chick is in the backseat of your car,
yeah, like,
lady.
eh.
Right.
Like,
And-
oh, what?
And maybe she should have been more concerned.
Well, she is concerned when the knife is put to her throat,
Correct,
and then
yeah.
is constantly slicing it open as blood pours
that
out.
was pretty brutal.
Yeah.
She just got real in there.
Oh yeah, I mean, she asked the wrong questions at the wrong time.
Yeah.
She should have known who she was. Hashtag strip gen.
Hashtag stription. So now we cut to Teach has gone home. It was 10 o'clock. He missed his first class. Rather than trying to make amends for that, he just goes the fuck home.
I also note at this point in time, I'm pretty sure he goes home to a different house.
I think it was a different house as well.
So at one point in time, when we noted before that the kids, the youth, they're acting a little more surly than normal. And he's noting this. He pulls up to the front of his house, and I know this because he gets to a gate, shuts it in front of these youths, and is like, "What the hell?" And then takes a key and opens the door, and the next scene is he's in his house and he's drinking a beer. And then that's when I think they crack his windshield or whatever. This time he goes to a house that does not have a gate and just walks in. And
Yeah.
I have no idea what house he's in. Where are you, buddy?
He's just it felt right for him. So
Sure.
but Julie shows up.
Oh yeah, Julie, what a little trickster. Julie's clearly a demon.
Yeah, well, we
And
don't
it's-
know that yet. I mean, clearly she is, but like,
And it's knock knock, and he opens the door, and he's like, she goes, "I brought you a present." And he's like, "Yeah, what is it?" And she goes, "It's me."
it's me. And like she kind of
little trickster.
she's kind of coming on to him a little bit, like trying to like get some physical action there.
And he slaps her.
You can see him like, should I do this? No. And then he just bitch slaps her real hard. And as soon as he does, she turns into a monster.
She did not like that.
No.
That's what triggers demons.
It does.
Slap demons.
But so he, thankfully, I guess he was a tennis player because he finds a tennis racket nearby and he beats the shit out of her with it. He shoves a tennis ball into her mouth, and then he stabs her.
Yeah, he falls down, gets a bar stool, and in front of this demon creature, dismantles the bar stool, turns it into a Buffy the Vampire Slayer-esque stabbing tool.
Yeah.
And just
A stake, I think is what he did.
just thrusts it right in. Dead.
Yeah.
Kind of, maybe. I don't know.
Well, I think so.
Wounded.
And then this was my favorite part of the movie. After he does this, he just, as he's leaving his house, he pauses, kind of looks at the camera and just says, "Fuck."
And then he turns into a real road warrior move.
Right. He goes to the gas station. He's buying flares and
No,
like, tanks of fuel.
Yeah, he's like gassing up
Mm-hmm.
and getting fuel and road flares. And the road flares is a really weird note. Or not note. it's a really weird transition where he's buying these road flares, and then you just see a hand exchange money for a handful of road flares. It's like, thanks,
It's
mister.
like a weird side deal.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there.
No one does. But he takes his bounty of fuel and flares, and he sneaks into that night's Damian show.
Yeah.
And no one notices him. He sneaks up all the way to the stage and he's pouring fucking gasoline on it.
Mike's using the adjective sneak. It's just walked right in. Just walked in with a duffel bag. Puts the duffel bag on the floor, takes out a large container of gasoline and starts
Correct.
dousing the stage with it.
Right. But then Damian sees this and is like,
Everyone should be seeing this. Everyone should be seeing this at all points in time.
so, but, I mean, well, Damian's given everyone a pep talk about how they're the Black Roses and they're going to help them do whatever.
Black Roses. Damian. I like the old school. I liked Concert too, where it was peppy. Damian.
That was the one to go to.
Yeah, now it's like Damian.
Yeah, everyone's a little strung out. But he sees Teach doing the gas thing. He's like, fucking get that guy.
Yeah, he is just on stage. He is on stage throwing gasoline.
Right. I mean, he's 5 feet away from Damian at this point, pouring gasoline, and it takes moments for him to be noticed. But Damian points him out, and some ghouls go over and get him. And now Damian starts turning into a ghoul himself, a gross one. And now Teach is going to beat some ass so this is a rock
Gotta
band.
learn lessons one way or another.
Yeah. He grabs a mallet, but like for a gong. It's not like you're not playing drums with this. This is for like a timpani drum.
Yeah, it's like the felted tip.
Right, but
like
it's
the
like
puffy tip.
But it's like a novelty one. Like if you're ringing a gong in a game show, this is what you use. He grabs this and he starts beating the shit out of people with it. He kicks Monster Damian in the balls.
Yep, it doesn't work though.
Well, as you can see, Monster Damian does not have any balls.
Yes,
it's smooth down there like a turtle.
Oh,
no. And he lights the flare, flames erupt, and the girl who was all up on Damian's jock a second ago is now all of a sudden like the spell's broken. She's like, get me the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
And her and Teach run out. And now like the fire's spreading and the mayor shows up and the mayor's like, you were right. This fucking sucks.
If you didn't see, Johnny is now also the spell's out because they're bringing students out one by, and he's like, "Where's my father?" I'm like, "Oh, dude, you're going." I was like, "You're going to prison."
And so, as the fire department's showing up and the mayor's there, the mayor says he gives direction to the fire department, which I feel like should have not been necessary. He says, "Forget everything else. Try to save the kids," which I feel like a fire department would have been like, "Yeah, that's." The human children are the priority in this.
In my mind, he said, "A Toblerone to the bravest man out there."
Everyone wants that Toblerone.
A king-sized Toblerone.
I guess it is. It's it's the holidays. Everyone wants the Toblerone.
I guess.
A plate of Ferrero Rocher.
There's a lot of Italians in this movie.
Yeah, everyone.
I like that the dad who was eating was like, he walked in the room, he was like, stew dad. Like,
oh, you mean the guy from The Sopranos? Yeah, he
a lot of fun ghouls.
Yeah, he said in the 30 seconds that he was in this movie, he said what I always assumed were fake Italian words that my father would mutter.
And mine.
Yeah. Hey, you stungazzi with the gabagool. Yeah, it was a mess. But yeah, so there's a fire in the school. Their kids are kind of like snapping out of the spell and running out, and we just keep cutting back to like Monster Damian being on fire.
Yeah, it's like, I'm on fire. And then you're assuming he's dead. Mm-hmm. And then it ends, kind of. And then now it's the teacher watching the news.
Well, so... Yeah, it's the teacher and the mayor watching the news. They're hanging out together. The mayor's smoking a cigar.
The mayor, side note, I thought the mayor was in on it the whole time. I thought he was trying to play like aloof. Like,
no, I 100% thought that as well. Especially at the beginning, it was like, kids will be kids.
Like, come on, the Beatles, everyone's cool, like, cool it, bro. And then people are like, they're going crazy. And the teacher's like, I actually have evidence. Like, I've never been against this. And we might want to investigate. Like, play it cool, bro.
Well, so the scene where they're watching the news together, was this an indeterminate time in the future? Because
it's 6 months.
Did it say 6 months? I didn't catch that.
It's 6 months
because
later.
I just like these guys are hanging out. Like, is this the morning after the school burnt down and they're just smoking a cigar, watching the news?
Well,
or what?
I have to assume maybe or longer. So or longer.
Okay.
Because the news station, the anchor person opens with back after 6 months. So I'm assuming this fire did something to disrupt it. So maybe it was a little longer, but I'm assuming that last show was that because the teacher's like, hey, whoa, turn it up. It's like back after 6 months, Black Roses is on tour.
Oh, yeah, they're going to Madison Square Gardens.
Yeah, they sold out Madison Square Gardens, and they're expected to have over 500,000 in attendance. And then so that's what it ends with. It's they expect to have over 500,000 people in attendance. And then you just hear this nondescript voice go, evil. And then credits roll.
Yeah, that's true.
and then the movie's over. Then it's that. So yes, you hear a very echo from the distance. And then it is Dunzo, credits roll. Hashtag strip gin, hashtag crack crack. Pop pop. Snap crackle pop.
Yeah.
That's what you get. I actually thoroughly like this movie. This movie had some missed opportunities for me. This movie's low budget. I thought this movie actually, overall, this is a fun B movie for me. I would totally recommend this film. If you're having fun, like it's not super serious and there's other fun B films out there, but it was happen chance that we watched this. I don't know. For a trauma film, this is definitely high up there on the trauma list for me.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
But I overall liked it. But Mike has noted, like, this is one of a million films where it's like the satanic band and the demons and blah, 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 and like play the record backwards, which they didn't do in this film, but many do. And we did Trick or Treat for October. Kind of sort of similarities.
This movie's better than Trick or Treat.
You're part of Black Roses, Mike.
Yeah, I might be. I had fun with this. It was all right. This was a fun one.
You're the child of evil. You eat evil.
I am.
Evil.
Yeah, there were a lot of like the costumes, like all the monster stuff was bananas and kind of fun. It was fine. I enjoyed this. I'll give this a recommend. Go in knowing that you're watching a trauma film and it's pretty stupid. But yeah, everything was better than I thought it was going to be in this movie. That's not to say it was great, but everything was better than I thought it was.
You said the main character reminded you of someone, and it's not the same person, but because he had that mustache, and maybe because of his hair, he reminded me of the lead in Halloween 3, where it's not, it's you, me, and Lamar watch this.
There's a Season of the Witch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Like the lead just like going around to the factory.
Yeah,
like,
sure.
Kind of looks like a similar dude.
I could see that.
Yeah, I wrote something. The director did some weird stuff, and I don't mean that as a negative. I was like, wait, that's super interesting. The director, Lamar, I wish you were here for it. It was, the director wrote Universal Soldier is one of the things that he did. And I was like, that is fantastic. Oh, and another 48 Hours. I didn't see that coming.
Also nice.
Yeah. So I was like, awesome. It's probably the reason why that I like this more, that those are two films that I would totally watch, and the director is probably like, hey, this is early in my career, and it's weird, but I'm having fun with it.
Right. So like a real filmmaker had their hand in this at some point.
Yeah, and it's just like an early
handy
vision of something. Yeah. But yeah, I overall like this. Mike and I talked about, we're now in December, so welcome to our December episode, and there's no way we're doing Christmas movies and holiday films
except for the ones that we're gonna do.
Oh, no. I was gonna say like every week. We're not gonna do that for all December. There's no way. And I think I said in the last podcast that for Halloween that's easy to do, but we want this to go on not just for 1 year and one season.
Right.
We got to make this sustainable. So this year we are planning 2, and in most years we'll probably do 1, but they will be towards the end.
They will be.
And so,
and I'm not going to name names, but I think I can say that they're both foreign movies.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, that's that'll be a fun treat for you and us, I guess.
There was a lot of Italian folk in the film we watched today. Would you count that as foreign? And it was filmed in Canada. And Michael Scott in The Office went to Canada and thought that was like kind of like a weird travel expenditure.
A Canadian movie with a lot of Italian actors, definitely a foreign film.
Nice.
Yeah.
But
I don't have anything else for that.
Well, as always, feel free to write us at rabbittroopsuckspodcast@gmail.com or visit us on Instagram or go to rabbittroopsucks.com, see some photos, get a t-shirt for the holidays. Your loved ones are cold. They want a Rabbit Troop Sucks t-shirt. Why are you not bringing it to them?
I'll put some hoodies up there for the season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get some hoodies, snuggle up with someone. They each have a hoodie. You're only wearing hoodies, just you and that other person.
Right.
So
Right now I'm wearing only a hoodie.
he's maybe. I don't know what's happening. It's late at night when we record, and I'm dizzy and I'm confused
I'm
sometimes.
old and confused. Don't look over here.
I fell down the stairs. What's happening? What's going on? Oh, you put on a hoodie. That's nice. Yeah, you and your loved one could just wear a hoodie, like easy access to everything, but you stay warm. It's
Right.
It's sexy, fashionable. I mean, I don't know what to say that wouldn't do that for you. Like now that we were being seasonal, Mike, I'm sure you're going to hit up the Chris Kindle Market.
I will,
which be
yeah.
in Civic Center again this year.
I plan on going.
What are some of the things that you like when you go to the Chris Kindle Market? We got to get somewhat seasonal.
There is a European bakery that always makes an appearance. Last year, I think I probably spent $200 on strudel. That's not an exaggeration. Their strudel's dope. My girlfriend and I always buy like some kind of Christmassy ornament. Last year we got an incense burner that looks like Santa Claus, and you put the incense in his stomach and it looks like he's smoking a pipe. It's pretty cool.
My brother-in-law has a nickname of Manly Strudel.
I don't know what to say to that.
Well, it's a true story.
Is this because he eats entire Entenmann strudels in one sitting?
I don't want to divulge anything.
Okay.
But there's a lot of strudel involved.
I mean, I'm not going to fault a guy for liking a strudel. That's fine. There's a booth that like smokes salmon, if that's your thing. I don't know. Yeah, there's a lot of fun stuff there. I look forward to going a couple times probably.
I just look forward to all things seasonal. It has always been our dream that anytime it snows, I just really hope that everyone is safe and everything just shuts down. And it's definitely happened a couple times for Mike and I where it just everyone's jobs are canceled. And it's super rare, excuse me, that when it happens, but it is awesome when it does happen. And those are the most fun holiday moments I have where it's just, doing whatever.
I lament the fact that I will never have that again.
Yes, but I eventually so many ages ago, Mike and I lived a couple blocks from one another, and we took a trek to Safeway during one of the snowstorms. And it only took me about 20 years to get you that photo, but I did it. I did it, buddy. And Mike looks like he's Boba Fett because we each had backpacks full of food.
I have like a baguette sticking out of mine.
Yeah, so it looks like, you have a jetpack going on. But yeah, we need some of that.
Yeah.
As always too, if anyone has, cool recommendations, especially for seasonal stuff, we mentioned this before, but upcoming we have New Year's Eve, then we have, are there any still winter movies? That's going to still be going on. Then we clearly hit spring, so there's seasonal things, but are there cool Valentine's films? Are there cool summer films? We have some ideas, but this month we're going through a little bit of surprise, and surprise, we watched a trauma film, and I have some other ideas of what those surprises could be. Some of the surprises are going to be surprise. We have some interesting Christmas films or holiday films for you, but
I was talking in real time to one of our listeners who has two suggestions for us and indicated that they might want to guest host for one of these.
We'll immediately talk off air on this.
Yeah.
I am always open to this. If anyone is interested in guest hosting, we have the technology to make this happen.
One of the movies that she suggested, you and I have both seen, and I actually like, and I'd be willing to do. The other one I had not seen. You may have, I don't know, but I'm interested. So.
I bring on the suggestions, bring on the guests. My suggestion, we told Lamar recently, our mutual listener and friend, Rami, we were telling Lamar to watch the Hawkeye series on Disney because it's all
That was fun, yeah.
holiday oriented. Yeah, I thought that was super fun for a mini series and something holiday. But clearly, we're always off topic. Denver, Colorado, and all of you who listen. Hopefully you're doing well. Stay warm. Be cool to one another. It's Denver, Colorado. Everyone should just be chill. So
And be excellent.
be excellent to one another. Damn it.
Yeah.
Rufus told you to.
He did.
Jerk. Rabbit Troop sucks.